have 2 head coaching vacancies left in the NFL, and while we wait to hear who will fill those last spots, would you look at that? Our next guest here has all thoughts on the latest coaching news because he knows that world a little bit. 2-time NFL Coach of the Year and a Super Bowl champion, Ron Rivera, joining GMFB. What's up, Ron?
Good morning.
You're our coach, you're our GM, you're our everything when it comes down to this stuff. Coach, the Arizona Cardinals are still one of those teams that need a head coach. You were recently brought in for an interview. How did that go?
I thought it went well. You know, it was an opportunity to talk a little football with them. It was, I tell you, they're being very thorough. They're asking a lot of great questions. And that's probably the biggest thing I think everybody has to understand is, you know, when you go through these processes, you know, as you're looking for who you want, you've got to be very thorough. You've got to get all the questions answered. And that's probably the biggest thing that I've noticed, you know, throughout the last few years is I've watched this process, how thorough a lot of teams are and how quick other teams react. And it's one of those things that if they react quickly, you always think, well, they always knew who they wanted to go get from the very, very beginning.
Well, Coach, you just mentioned it, how quick some teams react. You have a long history with the former Buffalo Bills head coach, Sean McDermott. Have you had time to speak to him since he was let go? And also, what are your thoughts on what's next for him?
Well, yeah, you know, I did have an opportunity to talk with Sean. Sean, I think, is one of the really, really good young coaches as well. And, you know, Buffalo did what they felt they needed to do. But, you know, a guy like Sean, who's had the success he's had and built the team the way he did, I'd be surprised if it doesn't come a full circle and he get another opportunity. You know, the way it looks right now is Sean will probably have the year off. You know, as Mike Tomlin is in the same situation. And it's one of those things that when you do this for as long as you've done it, you know, I went 9 straight years and then took a job right away. In retrospect now, I always wonder, it would have been better off if I'd taken the time off. And it's just one of those things that sometimes you start answering those questions in your own mind about, wow, I wonder what would happen if I'd taken a break. How would that, you know, got me fired up again?
That's so interesting, Coach, that you bring up Mike Tomlin and, you know, you think he's going to take a year off. Let's just talk about Mike Tomlin for a sec. You have a long history with him. What did you think when he decided to step down?
That he might want to take a break. I really did. I thought, you know, he's stepping away from being very, very successful and having the career he's had.
What did you think when he decided to step down?
That he might want to take a break. I really did. I thought, you know, he's stepping away from being very, very successful and having the career he's had. You know, no losing seasons, I think, is an amazing thing. And, you know, Mike is one of those guys that, you know, as bright as he is, as intelligent as he is, as well-spoken as he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up on television next season. Right. I mean, Mike's got some options. I'll tell you that much.
I bet you do. Listen, there was a complicated situation that unfolded recently, Ron, with the Giants. They hired John Harbaugh, and a lot of people thought that Jackson Dart would have Todd Monken as his offensive coordinator. Monken then goes to the Browns, which overcomplicates the web. What do you think Harbaugh's impact will be on the Giants, and how can he usher in this new era with what will become a second-year quarterback in Jackson Dart?
Oh, I think John can make a huge impact. I really do. The biggest thing about Coach Harbaugh is he has a plan. He has an idea of how he wants to do things. And with him, he knows how important that offensive coordinator is. So he's interviewing people. I think that he's really looking forward to bringing in the kind of guy that's going to make the impact for Jackson. I mean, this is a young man that's very dynamic, understands football. And the one thing that Coach Harbaugh said in his press conference, which I thought really reflects who Jackson Dart is I want guys that love football. That's, I think, is one of the really key things about finding the types of players that really fit into your system and style of football.
Coach, the Raiders are still searching for a replacement for Coach Pete Carroll. From your perspective, what makes that job in Las Vegas so appealing?
Well, you have the first pick. I think they're also positioned very well to go into free agency because of the cap moves that they've made last season. I think they'll probably be making a couple more to give themselves an opportunity to really step into free agency and build that team. You know, I know right now everybody's talking about Fernando Mendoza being the pick. And that's the thing about this, that they've got to be very thorough and understand what they're looking for, because that's the most valuable position, and that's quarterback. This league is a quarterback-driven league. You've got to protect that quarterback, put playmakers around him, and have a complementary defense. I think that's what makes the Raiders very appealing right now.
Ron, the NFL world, I'm going to say this kindly, freaked out this week over a report that Bill Belichick would not be entering the Hall of Fame at his first pass. Have you landed on a a thought, a theory, an opinion on this circumstance, or maybe just an overarching take you want to have about Bill Belichick as a whole in his coaching tenure in the NFL?
You know, I think it's a reflection of how more stringent the Hall of Fame wants to be in terms of letting people in. I honestly, for what he's done in the years he's been in the league, I mean, that's a guy who should have been a first ballot probably. And unfortunately, he's not. But, you know, he'll be in. He really will. And I've heard the explanations, the reasonings behind it. And to me, it just reflects that they're just trying to be a lot more stringent on who they let in. I mean, they're making it tougher to get into the Hall of Fame for guys that have been passed up initially, or for those contributors or coaches. So I just think it's, you know, they tighten the rules up, and that's really kind of, I guess, what it's all about.
Yeah, it was crazy, Coach Ron. I mean, everything that he's done, not getting in, I think the writing's kind of on the wall with that one. Okay, it's time. We got the Super Bowl coming up. Who is your pick? It's going to be a great game. We all know that. But who do you think is going to come out on top?
Wow. You know, this game to me is going to come down to playmakers and team speed. I think right now you're seeing that Seattle's making a lot of plays right now. Sam Darnold has done a tremendous job in those 2 playoff games this past season so far. He's got the biggest one coming up in his career, and I love the team speed. I really do. I think Seattle's plays very, very fast, offense, defense. I think the one thing that's real interesting about their defense is, you know, they're 4th in quarterback pressures and sacks, and they only rush for the most part in comparison to what New England does in terms of bringing pressure and blitzing to try and impact the passing game. So I'm leaning towards Seattle right now.
Ron, whoever negotiated you to get that office view that you have as a GM of Cal football, I need that guy on my team as well. Ron Rivera, everybody, we appreciate your time and everything you give to us and the game of football. And, hey, enjoy hosting the Super Bowl next week just in your backyard.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be busy. We got a lot of activities going on campus.
I bet. All right, Ron Rivera, everybody,
Good to
ahead
see
of
you,
Super
Coach.
Bowl 60.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
See you.